Alright, so today's class is on marketing and all the different resources and tools that are available to you within MyKW. So if you're following along, go ahead and go to mykw.kw.com and get logged in. Right now I'm on the home page of MyKW. And once we're on our home page, to get into eEdge, we're going to go over to the top center of our page to the eEdge control panel. If we click on the plus sign next to My Marketing, from here we're going to click this first option, which is Create Marketing Materials. This is going to bring us into eEdge, into our marketing center. So this is basically the hub where you can access your campaigns, different marketing materials, your mailing lists are in here, any images that you may have uploaded into eEdge you can find here as well. But one thing we want to do before we actually create any marketing materials is make sure that all of our information that goes on these pieces is correct. So from this page, we're going to go up to the top right and click Account. And under Account Administration, we are going to click My Account. Alright, this brings us to the My Account page in eEdge. This information here is what is going to show up on your marketing materials, so any flyers you create, any campaigns, as well as your eEdge website, that's your KW Realty site. So it's really important to make sure that this is correct so we don't have to update it on every single piece. So what we're going to do, we can open this up and make changes by clicking the blue Edit button up at the top. And now this will allow us to go in and update this information. Alright, so some things to point out: display name and account owner name. We'll want to make sure that's you, whether this is like your team name or your name, company name, you can put that information here. Title, you can put realtor, broker, things like that. I wouldn't mess with this login information. This is your login information for Market Leader, but we always recommend just going in through MyKW. So I would just leave this the same, but if you want to, you can switch this out to like an email you use more regularly. Designations, this would be a great place for any designations you may have. Those things that you've taken special courses for, like military homing specialist, senior homing specialist, things like that. That information would go here. Over here on the right, we have two spots for phone numbers. We have a mobile phone number and an office phone number, or I think it says work. Oh no, office. So you can have your numbers here. We don't have the option to switch these icons or switch the order. So it's up to you. You can have two different numbers in here. You can have the same number twice. You can take out one number and just have your cell phone. I've also seen it where people just have an office number. Maybe this is your cell phone and you want it to say office. Things like that. But definitely you want to have at least one good phone number here that you can use. And then over here on the left, it says external email. So this is really important. This needs to be an email different than this KW Realty email. So whatever external email you are actually using for your business is what needs to go here. This may be your kw.com email. This may be a Gmail, a Yahoo, maybe you have a custom email like this one. Just whatever your main email for real estate is, that's what you're going to want here. And then directly below that, there is a spot that says marketing and reply to email. So if you're just setting this up for the first time and we haven't done a setup for you, it may say eEdge email when you open this up. You're going to want to click on this drop down menu and change this to make this match. So these two need to be the same. And what this marketing and reply to email is, on your pieces that you create, it's going to show your email address. And this is the email address that will show on there. And then if anybody replies to any of those pieces or any emails you send out, this is where those responses would go to. So we definitely recommend making sure that these two are the same and they're an email that you actually use. Over to the right, we have our marketing website. This would be your preferred website for your business. This may be your e-edge site, this may be your Playster site, maybe you have a custom site or a custom domain, but whatever site you want people to go to for your business is what you will have in this space. Marketing address, this would be your office address. Please do not put your home address here. And then in this box we have a spot for my mobile app. So it's really important to make sure you have a good URL here. This needs to be your Keller Williams mobile app. On those campaigns you send out and some marketing pieces, there is actually a link that says click here to download my app. So we want to make sure that this is linked properly. This can actually be found in the 4.5 section of eAgency. Scott's account, all right, so I can't really go all the way back. Let's see. So I'm going to run through this quickly. You go to mykw.kw.com. Once you're logged in, you're going to click plus sign next to My Marketing. I'll just type this out because we got to keep going. All right, so that's we want to make sure that this mobile app URL is up to date. Like I said, this will be found in the 4.5 section of eAgency. Scott's account doesn't have that, so I can't walk you through finding this mobile app code, but if you need help and this is not up to date, we haven't done a setup for you, give us a call or shoot us an email. We can help you find your mobile app information. So once all of this information is good to go, you can go ahead and click Save, and this will update right away. So now your marketing pieces and your eEdge website will be updated right away with this current information. Down below this section we have a space for social media options. On those campaigns and also on your website there are little icons for your social media. So you can add in the links to your profiles and people can actually click on those icons and be taken to your pages. So you can edit these by clicking the little pencil button. You can change out this URL if it's incorrect. You can delete these by clicking the blue X. And then if we wanted to add in some new social media, we can click the blue Add Social Media button. This brings up a window for Add Social Media. Under URL type, there are quite a few different options here. So you can find whatever profile you're looking to add in. I'll just add in Facebook again, and then add the URL below. So for your Facebook URL, you can find that just by going to your Facebook page as if you were viewing it, just like you were looking at someone else's page. Go to your profile, and then you can copy that URL in the address bar, and that is actually your Facebook URL. So it's usually something like facebook.com/ and then whatever, I think you choose a custom one now. So it'd be facebook.com/ Scott Leroy Marketing, that one is actually ours. So you can add in your social media URL and click Save, and then that is now up to date. Down at the bottom, we have an images section. We have a space for our website image as well as our marketing image. These two may be the same. You can choose to use the same photo here or two different photos, but like it says, this one goes on your website and then this one goes on your marketing materials. So campaigns, flyers, postcards, things like that. Over to the right, we have our marketing logo. You don't need to add in just a generic KW here because that will already be put on your marketing pieces for you. But if you have like a custom logo for your office, one that says like KW City Life or whatever your office may be called, you can also add in your custom logo. Maybe you have your own logo for your business or your own team. This is also a great place for your QR code. Maybe you have a QR code. You definitely have a QR code linked to your mobile app that KW provides for you, but maybe you've created a QR code linked to your website or something like that. This would be a great place to add this in as well, because then that'll automatically be put on all of your marketing materials. All right, so this page, we are now good to go. All of our information is up to date. So now we can go in and start creating some marketing materials. So from this page we're on, we're going to go up to the top and click on marketing. And from here, we're going to click the second option, which is Manage Campaigns. All right, so you can see here, we are on the My Campaigns page. This is where we can see any campaigns we currently have running. The active ones will always be at the top. And even if you haven't set up any, this monthly newsletter will always be here, so don't freak out about this too much. As long as the contacts and the groups say 0, this will always be here. It'll always say active, but as long as these are on 0, this actually isn't being sent out. So on this page, we can sort by status. Right now it looks like we're just looking at everything. So you can sort by status. Maybe you only want to see active, inactive, paused, or completed campaigns. So if I were to say like I only want to see active, it'll only show these two. You can view by schedule. We have date campaigns, interval campaigns, and birthday and anniversary campaigns, which I will go over. Then you can also view by type. And if we wanted to create a new campaign, we can go over to the top right and click on this blue button for Add New Campaign. All right, so we are now in our campaigns. We are on a page that has basically just a giant list of all the campaigns that are available for setup. Over here on the right, we have our search options box. You have a few different ways you can search for campaigns. One is by delivery type. So like I said, there are a few different types. So date campaigns. This is like our 33 touches and our 12 directs. Those are actually date campaigns. So what this means is these campaigns are sent out on specific days throughout the year. So when somebody gets added to these campaigns, for example, the 33 touches, they usually start at the beginning of the year. So if we were to, we still I think have a couple more months on our current 33 touch campaign. So if we were to add somebody to a 33 touch campaign right now, they wouldn't go back and receive the first emails that everyone else received. They actually just jump in line and start receiving the campaign where it is right now in the schedule. So they won't go back and receive the pieces from like January last year. They are just going to start by getting the next one that's supposed to go out. So that's an example of a date campaign, and we will actually take a closer look at a 33 touch. Interval campaigns, these are like the 8x8 campaigns. So these go out based on when you add someone to them. So the 8x8, if you were to add someone to a campaign today, they would receive the first email tomorrow, and then 1 week after that, and 1 week after that. So if you had a campaign running and you add someone new, they will actually go back to the beginning and receive those first pieces. So it is based on when you actually add someone to the campaign. And then we have birthday and anniversary campaigns. These go out based on that date. So whenever somebody's birthday is or their anniversary. You can also search by collection. You want to look for buyers, sellers, sphere, these different options. You can also search by campaign title by adding in keywords here. And then we can actually create custom campaigns by basically piecing together different parts of other campaigns. We won't go over creating a custom campaign today, but we do have videos of that on our YouTube page. So if you're interested in that, we can help you find that video. But over here you can see this is our list of all of our campaigns. I usually start by talking about the 33 touch, and then on this list it says it's in alphabetical order, but it's usually, from what I've seen, it has like the newer campaigns at the top. So these are our 33 touches, and we will come back and actually set this up. 33 touch is usually the first campaign that people get set up. It's the first one that KW recommends you set up. It is for your sphere of influence, so family, friends, coworkers, people like that. These go out twice a month for the whole year. It's usually a mix of it's usually a newsletter for part of the month and then maybe something fun or informative for the rest of the month. So 2 pieces about like 2.5 weeks apart, and that runs for the whole year. If we scroll down, we can view more of our campaigns. Next we have our 12 Direct. You can see there's a whole bunch of 12 Directs here. 12 Directs go out once a month for the whole year, and there's a couple different types. So this 12 Direct is called a Healthy and Happy Home, or Happy and Healthy Home. So this is a campaign that has DIY tips. So if we're interested in a campaign, we want to learn more about it, we can actually go down below in this specific campaign and click Show Campaign Step Details. This is going to open this up, and we can see what the actual email pieces look like. And if we click on the little thumbnails, this is going to show you what the piece looks like. So this one is tips on keeping your home allergy free. And then of course your information will be updated down here in the bottom. So I'm going to close out of there. So that's an example of one of the 12 Directs. The newsletters are also 12 Directs. So that monthly newsletter, that would be an example. It goes out once a month for the whole year. And these are actually this 12 Direct, since it's not like a newsletter based one, this is actually an interval campaign. So if you were to add somebody to this, they would actually receive step 1. They wouldn't just jump in for later on in the year. So you can see 12 Direct, it says a happy and healthy home. We do have different types. So this one's just email. They'll receive 1 email from you once a month. This is the same thing, an email campaign, but for teams, so it has team verbiage on there. Oop, and it looks like this one we just have those two. I want to find a better example. Okay, so this 12 Direct, did you know? Here you can see this one is just email. And then this version, same campaign, is multi-channel. So I believe what happens is 1 month they will receive an email from you, and the next month they will actually receive a postcard. Yep, so you can see here, step 1 is an email, and then step 2 is actually a direct mail postcard. And then they offer that same campaign as just print, so just postcards. And then the same thing for team, so just email team, multi-channel team, and team just postcards. So make sure when you're setting these up you do choose the right one, but that's the 12 Direct. You can see there are quite a few different 12 Directs on here. These ones, it looks like, so those ones were interval campaigns. These ones are actually date campaigns, like this seasonal one. It wouldn't make sense for somebody to go back and receive like a summer piece in January, so they'll just keep going along with what dates they have set up for these campaigns. So those are the 12 Directs. Here are some more 33 touches, and now we're in our 8x8. So 8x8s are the more aggressive campaigns. You don't want to set just anybody up on here. These are really for clients that you want to pursue more aggressively. So people who are looking to buy or sell now. These are only for buyers or for sellers. Like I said, you don't want to just set up like your SOI, your family and friends on here, because it's not really going to make sense to them. But these go out once a week for 8 weeks. And we have both email and multi-channel or just print for these 8x8s. So you guys can check those out. And then down at the bottom there's a couple more campaigns I want to point out for you. Keep on scrolling. There's a bunch of options in here, which is awesome. So here we have birthday greetings campaigns. This is awesome. So if you add in your contact's birthday information, once a year on that date, they will receive a nice birthday message from you. So you can see here, if you set up this email campaign every year on their birthday, and this is for 10 years, so you can just set this up and forget about it for 10 years, and they will always receive a nice happy birthday message from you. If we click on this, you can see it says happy birthday, wishing you the best on your special day, with your contact info down below. So we have those for multi-channel and just print as well. This is new. There's actually a FSBO campaign for sale by owner. We have those in multi-channel, email, and just print. So those are pretty cool. I believe those are brand new. We also have a mobile app campaign. This campaign encourages your clients to download your mobile app. That's why it was important to add in your mobile app URL. Make sure that's up to date, and I'll show you an example. Here's one of the first steps for the mobile app campaign. It has information about the KW app, and then here's that button I talked about, download my app now. They can click on that and actually be taken to your custom app. And lastly, we have a purchase anniversary campaign. This is for your past clients. Every year on their purchase anniversary, they will receive this nice little message from you. This is happy anniversary. Congratulations on the anniversary of your home. Awesome. So those are the different types of campaigns. You guys can play around in there more and explore these because there are a ton. I'm actually going to scroll all the way back up. And we are going to set up a 33 touch campaign. So I found the campaign I'm interested in. I want to go ahead and move forward and set this up. So I'm going to go over to the right and click the blue button that says choose this template. All right, so once this opens up, this will always bring us into step 2, review and configure steps. I'm actually going to minimize this by clicking on the title of step 2. And you can see there are 4 steps you need to complete in order to set up a campaign. So step 1 you don't actually have to do. Step 1 is rename your campaign. This is great if you have multiple campaigns running, but for like different groups of people. So for example, this one's called 33 Touch Buy Your Site Email. Maybe this is just for my family and friends. I can add this in here, update this, and that way I know which campaign this is. So I'm going to go ahead and click Save and Continue, and that will update my campaign title. Now step 2, this is where we can actually get our steps ready to go. You actually don't have to make any changes in step 2. The great thing about these campaigns is they say set it and forget it. So you can just bypass this whole step and scroll down to the bottom and hit save if you'd like, but I'm going to go through and actually make some changes to show you guys. So this shows us our different steps in the campaign. Actually, step 1 is an activity. And what this is, on 2/5, it is reminding you to make changes to your This Month in Real Estate newsletter. So this campaign, this 33 Touch, like I said, part of the month your clients will receive a newsletter, and the other month they will receive something maybe more fluffy or fun or informative. So this first step is a task. It's telling you that the newsletter is ready for edits. Down below, step 2, you can see on February 15th, they will actually be receiving the newsletter. We can't make changes to the newsletter until about 10 days before it goes out. That's just because this is updated every month with new information, so they don't have the info for February yet. But on February 5th, you'll get a nice little reminder, and then you can actually come here and personalize this piece. So for now, I'm going to move on to step 3. Step 3, this is the next email. So they're getting that newsletter on 2/15, and then on 2/25, they are getting this email called, "Is it time for a change?" So let's make some changes to this. If we wanted to, we can actually change the date on these. We can click on this little calendar button. This one is scheduled to go out on 2/25. Maybe we want this to go out on Friday instead. We can actually change the date just by clicking on that. You can change the email subject if you'd like. And then over here on the right, if we click on the little thumbnail, we can see a preview of the piece. This looks great, but maybe we want to go in and make some changes. So I'm going to close out, and then next to the piece I'd like to change, oops, I'm going to scroll back up. It always kind of pops you down a little bit, so make sure you're on the right one. So step 3, I want to personalize this, so I'm going to click the personalize button. All right, so once this opens up, we are brought into our email piece, and making changes to these is very easy. So for the email pieces, these are HTML optimized. So we can't just, like, unlike the print pieces, which I'll show you, we can't just like grab things and drag them around. It's you're kind of more confined to the setup that they have on here, but we still can make changes. So let's say I wanted to change out this photo. I can click on the photo here. I can upload an image from my computer if I'd like. My images are in these little drop-down things here. They also have some awesome stock photos for you guys, so you can click stock. And there are some different choices over here. I usually like adding in something silly for these classes. So let's see. My go-to is like some weird animal. Let's do the puppies. All right, so as simple as that, you can click on your photo, choose a different stock photo, or upload an image from your own computer and then change that out. You can drag the corners to make it smaller. You can see this is aligned to the left. I can go up to this toolbar here. This is similar to like a word processor that you might use. I can use the text alignment tool to center it. And there we go. I can change out the text just by highlighting this. I can change out the font by highlighting, going back up to my toolbar. I can choose a different font. I can choose a different size. I can change the color. So you have, like I said, a lot of wiggle room to play around with this. You can, of course, make better changes than just like, adding in silly photos and text. If you don't like the content on here, maybe you want to change it or update it or even add to it, you can do that. So all of this text is fully editable. Let's say we wanted to add in a video. Maybe you have made like a This Month in Real Estate newsletter, or you have an intro, or I'm sorry, video, or you have an intro video. You can add that in. So I'm going to put my cursor here at the end of this paragraph because I want to put in my video after. So I clicked at the end of this text. I'm going to hit enter. This is where my video will be. I'm going to go up to the top. I can insert a new image by clicking the Insert Image button, but I'm going to go right here to what looks like a little film strip with a play button and click Insert Video. So to add a video, you are unable to upload a video from, say, your phone or your computer. The videos do need to be on YouTube or Vimeo. But uploading to YouTube and Vimeo is really easy. So once you have those uploaded, you can just paste the URL here. So I'm going to go to our YouTube page. And to get the URL for the video, You just have to go to the video as if you're watching it. So say I wanted to add in our intro video. Perfect, so this is the video I'd like to add. All I have to do is copy the URL in the address bar, go back to eEdge, and then I can paste the URL video here. And once I click submit, you can see we have our little video here. It has a little preview. So I'm going to drag this to make it bigger. I'm going to use the alignment tool to center it, and there we go. Adding in a video is very simple. So you can go through, make whatever changes you'd like. Of course, down at the bottom you can see this is our info that we updated at the beginning. Here's that generic KW logo that they add in for you. Whoops. Our contact information. It doesn't add in the logos or specify which number's which on these campaigns, so you might want to add in like cell, office. You may have to update that. And then down below, here are those links. Click here to download my mobile app. This was that marketing and reply to email, and then this was our marketing website. So once this is good to go, I'm going to scroll all the way back up. Looks beautiful, and click Save. You can change the title if you'd like. I'm just going to hit Save. Oops, looks like this already exists, so I'm going to change it to number 2. Alright, I've saved this. I'm going to click Exit, and this brings us back into our campaign. And you can see we were on step 3. Now when we click on the thumbnail, we can see it's been updated. Perfect, so you can go through here and personalize the other steps. Like I said before, you don't have to do anything. You can actually just do the set it and forget it. They will plug in your personal info into that signature section and then send this out. This just goes for the whole year. You don't really have to worry about it, but you can always come in and make changes. So I've made the changes I'd like, and I'm going to click Save and Continue. Step 3 is add or remove contacts. I can click on that. This brings up a pop-up window. So we have 2 different options for adding in contacts. We can add in groups or individual contacts. The cool thing about adding in groups, so here's one group that we have set up that has contacts in it. I can click the Add button. It moves it from the left to the right. And what's cool about this is in the future, if anybody, if I add anyone new to this SOI group, they will automatically be added to this campaign. So that makes things easy. It just takes out a step for you. I'm going to remove this. You can also add people individually. If you have a lot of people in here and you're searching for someone specific, you can use this search box to search by name or email. Shows all of my contacts down below. I can click the Add button or click Add All Contacts. Sometimes we get questions from people who say, hey, I am only showing 6 contacts as eligible to add to my campaign, but I know I have more than that. We have this box checked here. It's always checked to start. It says Show Only Eligible Contacts. So when I uncheck this, we can see there's actually another contact. It's actually me. I have unsubscribed. So anybody who has unsubscribed or doesn't have an email, they would be uneligible, so they're not going to show up. So when you uncheck this, you can see what contacts you're unable to add and then why. So I recommend just leaving that. I'm going to add everyone over and click Save. All we have to do now is review and activate. I'm going to click Step 4. I always get this pop-up that says I've made edits that have not been saved. I believe this is just a glitch because I know I've saved everything, so I'm just going to click Continue. Alright, so it asks us a few questions here. It says once a contact completes this campaign, automatically add them to blank. So this is really good for those shorter campaigns, maybe like your 8x8s or your mobile app campaign. Once those campaigns wrap up, it's good to add them to a longer campaign, maybe a 33 touch or a 12 direct. Since this campaign that we're setting up right now is a 33 touch and it's going to run for a few months, we don't really have to worry about adding them to a new one. What will happen most likely is once this campaign wraps up, you'll probably want to add them to the new 33 touch for 2019. Also note that the campaigns, they don't automatically start over. So if you have a bunch of people on a 33 touch for this year, when the new one comes out in June or whenever that happens, you will actually have to go back in and set it up again. So just keep that in mind. But we usually send out emails and reminders letting you know that the new 33 touches are available. But I'm just going to click none. I don't want these people to be put on another campaign after this one completes. I'm going to check these boxes. This one is saying I've basically reviewed the campaign. Everything's good to go. I'm not spamming anyone. And then this box, we can actually add featured properties to the end of these emails. So everything looks good. I'm going to go ahead and click Activate Campaign. And we can see it's right here, active, 33 touch. So there is some different information you can view on this page. Like I said, the active campaigns are up at the top. If we wanted to pause them, we can click on this little switch. It'll change that campaign to paused. If we wanted to go back in and make changes, we could just click on the title. We can see there are 6 contacts on here and 0 groups, but if we wanted to update this, we could click on groups, and then this should look familiar. You can add new contacts just from here without having to go all the way back into the campaign. This campaign has 11 email steps, 0 mailing steps, and then 7 action steps. Next campaign, I chose none selected, but if we wanted to, this is only showing other campaigns we have set up. We can choose to add them to another one. You can duplicate this, basically making a copy. This is great if you've really customized a campaign and you want to set different people up on it. You can hit duplicate and it'll make a nice copy for you. And then if we, so we are not going over importing contacts today. Let me send you our database management class. Oopsie, SLM training. So that class we taught a few weeks ago. That is one of our Thursday classes, but this week we are not going over that. So that class is database management. It's a little longer, but it goes over more than just importing. And then this video here, this one is just importing contacts. So check those out. That's a great place to start for that. No problem. And then for February, I don't know the date, but we will be teaching that database management class live, so you can check that out as well. Alright, so over here lastly, there is this performance button next to our campaign. So if we click on this, we can view more about these campaigns. We can see how many emails were sent, how many were opened, clicked, bounced, or unsubscribed, and then you can see how, once these start sending out, you can actually see how they're doing. So that's pretty cool. I'm just going to hit back. If we wanted to delete a campaign, you would need to go in and click on the campaign title. That's going to bring us back into where we just were where we were editing. I'm going to go just to step 4, and at the bottom of step 4, bottom right, here's our delete button. It's going to make sure you are sure, and I am, so I'm going to click yes, delete campaign. Alright, so that's a little bit about setting up the campaigns. Now we want to create some marketing materials. We can set up some flyers, show you where the different pieces are. So I'm going to go back up to the top of marketing, click on this, and we're going to go back to our marketing center. All right, this is where we can access our different marketing materials. I'm going to go under Design Library over here on the left and click Email and Video Marketing. All right, so this brings us into our design library. Right now we're looking at email and video pieces, and there are a ton, 489 different pieces that you guys can customize and send out. So basically any campaign step can be sent out as a one-time email, which is really cool. So say you've set up a campaign and you really liked step 2, you can actually go back in, just choose that one step and send it out to your contacts. Over here on the left, this search options box is going to be really helpful in finding pieces that you're looking for. Using the keywords, so right now, before we do that, we're looking at the design library. These are all of the pieces available. If we switch this to Save Designs, we can see any of the pieces we've created in the past. But I'm going to search our design library for now. Right now we are looking at email and video, but we do have print pieces available as well. If we check this, one thing to note, when you do have, when you're looking at print, it breaks it down by type of print. So right now we're looking at print. There's postcards. If we switch this, there are flyers, greeting cards, which some of these are very cute. Guides, this is where you can find your listing presentations, and we do have shorter videos on just setting up the listing presentations. And then there are some business card templates in here. We will make a flyer. But let's just go back and search within our emails. So right now we are just looking at email and video. I'm going to use this keywords box to search for pieces. Let's search, maybe we want to set up a buyer piece. We have some buyers we want to get in contact with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to search buyers. Whoops, I don't know how to type today. Buyers, and hit enter. And you can see, so this is interesting, it only brings up 12 results. I definitely know that there are more buyer pieces, so what I'm going to do is I am going to switch my search. If you want to change your search, I want to make sure I'm not going to search multiple keywords. So for example, if I type in buyer and hit enter, this isn't going to change my search. Now it is searching buyer and buyers. So it didn't change my results. So in order to do that, we want to make sure we clear out the first keyword. So I'm going to click on the red X next to buyers. There we go, and now we are only searching the word buyer. And we can see there are 118 different results. And if you scroll down, tons and tons of email pieces for buyers. So I'm just going to pick one back at the top. Let's do this one, the key to your new home. Oh, that one's for team. I'll do this one. So I can click on the email I'm interested in. Oh, this one's actually about the mobile app. So from here you can see a preview. We have the option to personalize or just go in and compose an email. I'm going to personalize this really quick. Click on the personalize button. From here, same thing as before, we can make any changes. I'm actually not going to make any changes, I just wanted to show you guys. You can come back in, update this. This is exactly the same as editing the campaigns. Click Save. I'm going to run through this pretty quickly. And then exit. Alright, so we updated that. And over here on the left, we can see that this updated. So one thing I want to point out, this is an email piece. We only have the option to send this out through our e-edge email. So these email pieces, these individual email pieces, as well as the campaigns, they will always be sent from your KW Realty email. There is no way to change that. But let's say I wanted to do more than just email this through e-edge. So I can actually save this piece over here. If I right click, I can actually save this as a JPEG file. So now I have saved this. This is a nice little JPEG. I can do more with this. I can post this on Facebook. I can post this on Instagram. I can email this through a separate email. Maybe I want to send this out in a Gmail. I can put this in the body of my email, things like that. So you can also print this. It's not going to be like a beautiful print quality, but I believe it's good enough. You could just cut this out, cut out the section you like, make a new flyer out of it, what have you. So you are not just like constrained to sending this out in eEdge. Just remember you can actually save this little preview here and do more with it. But I do want to send this out. I'm going to click Compose Email. And this will bring me in and allow me to set this up. Alright, so this, if you are familiar with eEdge, you'll see that this section changed just a little bit. So it puts in our email in the body. Excuse me. It does look hazy and you can't click on it. That's because this is HTML optimized, so we can't make changes to this within the email. If you did want to update this, you'd have to go back and make those changes. We can include showcase properties by checking that box. We'll plug them in down there. You can attach files. Maybe you have an additional flyer or something you'd like to add in. This is new, Save Draft. You can actually save this draft and it'll be up here in this messages section in your drafts. So that's pretty cool. That was not an option before. So we can go in. You can update this subject line if you want. Maybe I want to make this shorter. And then now we can add in our contacts. So you can add in contacts by typing in the contacts' names or emails. So if I start typing in Scott, it's going to show all of these contacts with Scott in their name or email. So you can only add people onto this that are in your database. So just keep that in mind. You have to add them as a contact first. You can also click on this To button. And this should look familiar. This is the same as adding contacts to your campaigns. Click Add for whoever you want. Click Save Changes and you can now send this over to them. I'm going to remove these people. My coworkers don't want to receive this, but once this is good to go, you've updated it, attached whatever files, everything you need. You can click Send. And there we go. This will now be sent to your contacts. So very simple to send out like a one-time email in eEdge. I know in the past there has been a delay in when this sends out. So I always recommend adding yourself to your emails as well as your campaigns just so you can see when it actually goes out and what it'll look like. I'm going to click back to search up at the top right. This is now bringing us into our saved designs. You can see over here on the left. I'm going to go back to the design library and I'm going to get rid of this keyword for buyer, and now we're just back at the beginning. Real quick before we wrap up today, I do want to create a print piece as well. I'm going to go down to type in my search options box and switch this to print. Uncheck email and video. And go to flyers. So there are some property flyers in here. In this flyer section, there's also some letters, like your buyer presentation letter, pre-listing presentation letter. There's a seller's home evaluation letter. There's some good stuff in here. But let's say we want to create a property flyer real quick. Let's choose this one. I'm going to choose this first listing flyer. Click on that. And if your IDX is set up properly, you can see there will be an option here to choose an MLS listing. So this is pretty cool. You can start to type in an MLS number or street address and it'll actually plug in the information for you onto this flyer. Sometimes I pick one of these and I end up with something really funky, so let's just choose this one and cross our fingers and hope it's a good listing. So I've chosen my listing. I'm going to click Personalize. Perfect. Okay, sometimes I get some listings on here that are like, they don't have any pictures or it's just like a dirt lot, so it's not a great example. So for, actually this is kind of a funky flyer. So you can see when you do this, it doesn't always work perfectly. It did plug in all of our information, which is great, and it added in some photos, but everything is kind of wonky. So I'm going to update this. Usually the property description is too big if somebody has a long property description, so I'm just going to take this out, pretend that wasn't essential information, move this down, and then basically, so editing the print pieces is a lot easier. Oh, it looks like it didn't add in, looks like the photo here is not working. Okay, so I changed my text. You can make more changes to that if you'd like. But you can see it added in the description, the address, and then information about the property. It didn't like this photo. So say I want to change this out. This is supposed to have one big photo up here. I'm going to click on that and then click this replace button, and this will allow me to choose a different photo. So I can choose to upload a photo from my computer again, go through those stock images. But what's cool is, since we chose a listing off MLS, we can click MLS listings. And now all of our photos are here. So we can actually choose different photos from MLS. Ooh, indoor pool. I don't know why this looks so funky. I'm going to trash this. Try and add in a new image. For some reason it didn't like that. Okay, there we go. So I clicked image, replace, and then MLS images, and then I chose this new listing, or I'm sorry, new photo. Oh, these photos are tiny. So you can play around with this. Sometimes you do have to do quite a bit of customization to make this look not so funky, but the good thing is you can totally customize this. So let's pretend that that looks good. So you can play around on here. Some things to note, it's pretty cool. You can actually, there are more text options in here. So for these, we do have more fonts. We can change the font, we can change the font sizes, the colors. To change out the photos, maybe I don't like these, I can click on the photo, click replace, choose a different image from MLS, maybe I want a shot of the kitchen. Things like that. If I want to add in maybe like a header, and I'm sorry guys, I am going through this pretty quickly, but you can play around on here. It is very easy and kind of fun to go through and edit these photos, or I'm sorry, these listings. Maybe I want to add in a header. I can change out the colors on here. You can add in custom colors. You can go off the color wheel. Maybe you know the Pantone number. I have a note somewhere of the one from the KW logos. I just don't remember it by heart. But you can add in the Pantone number and choose like a specific color. Add in some text on top of this. So like I said, this is pretty cool. I will sometimes use this shapes tool. Some of these have like things that you can't cover up. So like this footer at the bottom is red. Maybe you don't want that. You could use this shapes tool and add in like a white rectangle or something to cover up whatever you're working on. If I wanted to add some new text onto this new header, I can click text box. Maybe I want to write just listed. And maybe actually, you know, let's just have some fun with this. I'm going to add in the property address underneath. Play around with this. Like I said, this is very similar to like your word processor. I'm sorry I'm going through this quickly, but you can just play around on here and customize this. Here we go. I changed the font. I changed the color. Now I just want to make this bigger. We are limited to only these font sizes. Sometimes I wish they had more, because like you can see this doesn't fit perfectly. So I'm going to highlight the second line. Maybe do size 18 and then make just listed. Let's make it really big. Perfect. So there we go. You can play with these forward and backwards buttons. So for this, we added the text on top. Maybe let's say the the rectangle, oops, was actually on top. You can use these forward and backwards buttons. So say, oops, we accidentally covered this up. You can choose to push this backward. Now it's behind this layer. So you can play around with here. This actually doesn't look too bad. There we go. So you can add in your info, change out the photos, change the colors on things, make it look nice and pretty, make sure your contact information is good. I think, so you do need to make sure your logo is on here. I don't know what happened here. Looks like it has a space for a logo, but it didn't plug in the generic KW. So I'm going to click on this space. This is a space for a logo. Click on replace. And we should have some logos in here. Let's see what we have. I'm in my photos right now, my uncategorized photos. That's not going to work because it's red. These are going to look funky because they have a, oh, well, it's probably our best option for now. Okay, so we added in our logo. I can stretch that and make it bigger. There we go. So we made this beautiful flyer. Kind of beautiful. And click save. Please make sure that you're always clicking save up at the top left. I've had that experience where I've made a bunch of wonderful changes to something and then something happens, the website glitches out, internet cuts out, what have you, and then you lose it and you have to start over. And that is such a bummer. So make sure you're hitting the save button as often as possible. I'm going to just call this the property address. Click save. There we go. And now when I click exit, boom, there is our flyer. So sometimes it actually looks okay now. Sometimes when you do this, you'll hit save and things will kind of get swapped around. It won't actually look exactly the same as it was when you were working on it. So keep an eye on that. Sometimes, like when I add in this header here, the text will be behind when I hit save, so I'll have to go back in and rearrange the order. So just keep that in mind. Double check, make sure everything's good to go. Same as before. So we actually have an option to download a PDF now, which is cool. So if you hit this, this will give you a beautiful actual print quality piece that you can use. You can download this and make copies on your own. They do actually offer printing. I have not done this through them, so I don't really know much about like quality or turnaround time, but they do offer printing. What I would recommend is just download the PDF for free, buy a nice pack of paper, and print it at your office. You can't attach a PDF, or you can attach a PDF to an email. You can't add in a PDF to like Instagram or into the body of an email. So same thing as before. We can download this as a PDF, but if we wanted the JPEG file, you can save this, do save image as, save this to your computer, and now we have a JPEG version as well. And with this, we can add this into Facebook, Instagram. We can email it in the body of an email through a different email, what have you. So looks good. We can actually play around with this some more. We have our PDF, and then we have this. So another thing, you can see this doesn't have the email button. If you did want to send out, maybe you made a beautiful print piece, but you want to send it out as an email in eEdge. There are tricks. We figured out a way to do that. And if you are interested in that, we have a video on that in our YouTube page, or just get in touch with us and we can help you do that. It is a little, there's just a couple more steps. It's not really tricky, but you just have to follow some extra steps to get this uploaded into eEdge to send out. So that is about it for today. I'm going to go back to search. Once again, we are in our save designs. You can see all of our flyers we've created in the past. So I know we went through quite a bit today. We went a little quick. So this was our Marketing with MyKW class. If you guys have further questions, I'm going to pull up our website. Feel free to get in touch with us. I also recommend going to our YouTube page, which I will throw in here for you guys. Nope, that's not it. YouTube.com/, I cannot type, sorry guys. So our YouTube page is going to be your best friend. You can always go there and search for videos. We have videos on everything. So you can play around in there, search for things that you're looking for, things you're working on. But then, of course, you can always get in touch with us. Here's our contact information, our phone number, and our email. We are here Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern on phones and 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern on emails. So if you guys have questions, concerns, compliments, feel free to reach out to us and we'd be happy to help. But that is about it. So thank you guys. Thanks for sticking around. This last day in January, the longest January ever. So hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week and have a good one. Thank you.